So one of the things about this cave that's different than others is that this one has the most graphical things inside, most of the artwork. Welcome to Tigner Adventures. We are at Carlsbad Caverns. 30 years ago, we came here with our two oldest children at the time. They were, how old? 3 and 6?
6 and 9.
Oh, off just a little bit. That's why you're here.
Yeah.
You know? So, anyway, so we have been here before, and
it's our favorite spot.
It's our favorite spot because of the
bats.
The bats, yeah.
Love the bats.
Yeah.
So
cool. In the evening they have a amphitheater over here where they let you sit and you watch the bats. So the cave is full of bats, and in the evening they take off and leave to go out and do their thing during the night.
Thousands of bats. It looks like a black cloud.
Now, one thing to note here is that you do have to have reservations now. If you go to the website, the mps.gov, and look up Carlsbad Caverns, the first screen that comes up actually has a link right there. When you click on it, it'll take you to the place to get your tickets. The tickets are $1 a piece, and all that is an administrative fee for taking care of the website, I guess, and as far as collecting your dollar. I think it's 15 and under is free. But you have to still select all the numbers of people. So your ticket has to show how many people are actually in your party. Whatever time frame we select, so 10:30, we actually have from 10:30 to 11:30 to enter the cave. And then after that, it doesn't matter, you can be in the cave all day long if you want. But as far as getting in, that's when your time frame is to get in. So anyway, let's go into the visitor center. We'll check things out and we'll get ready for our cave tour. So what did we bring for the cave? The cave's like 52 degrees. So
56.
56. And
jackets.
We got our
yeah. First time I had my jeans on, and
we got jeans
since January.
We got jackets. So hopefully we'll be warm. Hopefully we'll be warm. All right, we have come in and we've checked in at the information center. We've got our map, and if you look right here, this is a picture of the actual cave down below. The only real hikes they have is going down in the cave. That's a little different than the one that we were at yesterday. The Guadalupe Mountains National Park is all hiking. This one's not, but this one is a very popular national park. And we are currently here they have an actual restaurant you can see right behind me. And they also have this pretty good size bookstore. And we haven't even gone to the visitor center part of it yet. So we just kind of came in and came to this side. There's a lot of activity on the other side, so people can get checked in and things like that. So our tickets are at 10:30, so we have to wait till at least then before we can check in. So we've got an hour to, well, not even an hour anymore. It's like a half an hour. Well, yeah, half an hour to kind of wander around the visitor center, check things out. We have found out that the bat viewing will be at 7 o'clock tonight. And there is no video cameras or anything allowed when the bats come out to fly, if they come out to fly. So they can't control that, but you actually have to turn your cell phones off. So this is where we get our tickets, or turn in our tickets to get our entrance fee and show our national park pass. Here is a replica of the actual cave that we're going to go down into. So, pretty good size. If you were to hike in, you'd start way up there and hike all the way down to here. And eventually you end up over here into the main caverns. But everything within the cave here is all up here in this front big area.
So good.
However, taking the elevator doesn't mean you're not going to be hiking, because there's the visitor center up there. We take the elevator down to this point, and then we still hike all the way back up into the big room of the cave. All right, so we have our audio. It's a self-guided tour, and then we have our green entrance paper to allow us to get into the theater. She actually wrote 9:30 on here, so we can go in anytime. I guess they just didn't have that many here today. I actually looked at the reservation. We made them last night, which I'm not saying that's the best way to do it, because in the popular season, I'm sure they sell out pretty fast. But they do about 250, I think it was, I seen on there, per hour. So there's a lot of tickets that you can get, and a lot of people can fit down there. So anyway, but you might want to get them sooner than I did, but this is the low season. They do have a video theater here, so they do have a video going on, so you can also look at that online. So here is the cave entrance, and we will go over there and walk out there down a little bit. The self-guided tour kind of starts there, so there are some numbers there that we will miss if we don't go all the way through. We have gone down the elevator, and we are now at the entrance to go into the actual cave. So yeah, but we got our jackets on. It's pretty cool in here, so I'm sure the whole cave is this temperature. But anyway, it's time to go in the cave. So we do have to use our library voices while we're here. So hopefully I'm close enough to the camera that you'll hear me okay. But so this is the main room. Has the restrooms over there. So this is the only place they have restrooms. So they say go before you go. All right, so we are walking into the cave, and we're looking for little brown pedestals with numbers on them. That's our self-guided tour. And we have found one already, so we're gonna start the tour. So we are walking towards the big room. The first number that we listened to was just talking about the elevators. So you could hike down to where the elevator starts. We took the elevator down to that point, and now we're just walking through here and looking around. The elevator, we are 750 feet from the visitor center down, and that elevator was made or built back in 1950. This room is over 14 football fields long, and it's over 1,000 feet below the surface, and the overall cave is a little over 30 miles long. There is another cave in the park that's called the Gila Cave that's over 100 miles long, so it's amazing. And the thing to remember, this is part of the Guadalupe Mountains range. It's all in this mountain range, same as the Guadalupe Mountain National Park. So both of them share the same area. Amazing how many different caves are in this area. And this used to be a shoreline, 250 million years ago. And so that's what kind of made these caves and all the limestone and everything. And now it's all desert. And the water above is what's carving everything out below here. So Carlsbad Cave National Monument was established in 1923. And then the national park came when in 1930 it was changed to be a Carlsbad Caverns National Park. There are more than 1,200 light bulbs in the cave, so it's still pretty dark. They wanted to keep it still cave looking, but make it so you could see all the cool artwork in the cave. This is their National Geographic's entrance. This was used by them to reach the lower pit, so they climbed down that ladder and went down to the lower level. If you look closely here, you can see there's a couple ropes hanging from the ceiling. It actually goes up to another cavern up above they call the Spirit World, and they use balloons to get the ropes up and wrap them around stalactites. And then very nervous caver climbed that rope to find the actual room up there in the cave. It's only about 700 feet long, but it's a small little cave. So this is called the Rock of Ages. It's one of the largest features in the cave. And it used to be a ranger-led tour to here, and then the rangers would turn out the lights, and you could see how dark it was down here. But because there's so many people coming now into the caves and the tours got so large, they quit doing that. From here, looking back to the back of the cave, there's a quarter-mile away. It's amazing that it's such a big area. And this is the far end of the big room. And it's amazing how relatively dry this cave is. They say some of it is just the climate outside right now. Some of it is from them building the visitor center above and putting all the parking lots in they have now. So those are unexpected consequences of damage to the cave. So they're actually looking at taking out the pavement and changing it to some type of a material where water will actually go through, and then it'll kind of dribble down here into the cave a lot more. We have finished the tour of the main red line going through the cave, and then now we're going to we've decided to do the blue one. You only live once, so we're going to go
Daniel wanted to do
hike
the green
down.
one.
We're going to hike down through the natural section of the cave. So it's about 1.25 miles down. I figured that we've done Angel's Landing several times. It can't be any worse than that. So anyway, we'll see. We might need vitamin I after this. We'll find out. So this is the amphitheater. And of course in front of us is the cave entrance. So this is where you come to sit and watch the bats in the evening. We're going to hike down in and actually go through that entrance right there and start dropping down into the cave itself. So this is the path going down in the cave. Just goes down, down, down for the next 1.25 miles.
I'm supposed to talk about the bats.
Just
The bats are very small. They're 1/2 ounce. And they come in here to have their babies. And they're way back there is the nursery, and it's 90 degrees. And the bats nurse for like 3 weeks, and they have these bats, their babies, one baby a season, and they give birth upside down. Well, right side up. They're hanging upside down. And they attach their babies to the ceiling and go out and eat. And they come back to find them. Out of thousands of little tiny bats, they can smell their own bat. And they can hear it, I think also.
what we're hearing right now is birds, not bats.
The swallows.
Yeah. So the swallows is known as the day crew, and the bats are known as the night crew.
But I do hear some clicks. So there is some bats somewhere.
Yep.
Anyway, they're at their crowdest time, I guess. In the summer, a square foot of ceiling is covered by 300 bats. So that was, and they fight and they quarrel for a good perch. I like bats. They're very cute. They're mammals. They have hands off their wings. They're a lot of good. They give you a lot of fertilizer, and they take away all the bugs at night. And
so they're 1/2 ounce in weight, and they eat 1/2 of their weight. So 1/4 ounce of insects.
Yeah, it's a lot
every
of mosquitoes.
night.
Moss,
That's
mosquitoes, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, whatever they can get.
Yeah.
So we are going down into the darkest area of the cave now as we head down to where we're below the visitor center where the elevator will be. So now it's not quite as steep. There's no wiggles going back and forth, switchbacks. In this case, it's just a trail just working its way down. Yeah, we do switch back once in a while here and there, but Nothing like what we just went through. Oh, look, some more switchbacks. Guess Ninette was right. Dang it. She's always right. All right, we are coming to the end of the downward path of the switchbacks. We're way up there. And now we're down here. A little bit of a down climb. The trail is really good though. And if we hadn't done all the walking around earlier, this probably would have been a lot easier. So we're almost all the way down, which is about 750 feet to start with. That's where the elevator ends. And one of the things they were talking about is animal life here in the cave. So even this far in, it never sees light. There's crickets. There's a lot of just different little organisms and things that just live in the water and around the rocks and things. Eat rocks or eat each other, you know, spiders. So even though we're so far down, there's lots of animal life here. So one of the things about this cave that's different than others is that this one has the most graphical things inside, most of the artwork. So they do have a tour that we're kind of looking over here. That's called the King's Palace Tour. And it's a ranger-led tour, so we can't get back in there. But that's an area where they take everybody back in and they turn the lights off. So they used to do it for the whole cave. Now they just do it for that little segment. In the old days, this is how they used to get down to the bottom of the cave, with stairs like this. These are left just to show us what it looked like. But in 1956 is when the elevator was actually put in. But before that, they had these stairs, and before that, they had a guano bucket that people would get in and get lowered to the bottom. So things have definitely changed. Well, we have seen a lot of things today, and it's been a fun little tour. We're really feeling the hike down really took its toll on our knees. So it is a little hard, but I don't know that's necessarily any harder than like some of the other hikes we've been on. The handrail.
We're older now.
Oh, we're older. The handrail was a big help.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
If
so
I wasn't there, I would have been dead. My
Yep.
legs are shaking right now.
But anyway, it was fun. It was something that we didn't do before.
Yeah.
And we did see some young kids on this hike, so it's not like those of you that have little kids and families that, you know, you could do this 1.25 miles going down. It is pretty much switchback, so if you look closer at this little blue line going down here, I didn't look that close. I didn't realize there was all these switchbacks going down through the thing. But anyway, with that said, it was still worth the time and effort. The only thing that we've got to do now is we're going to go watch the bat flight exit. So normally, this is normally a summer activity, and the cave gets really busy. So if you can think that there's 250 an hour going into the cave, 250 people, we just ran into a few groups, which was kind of annoying in a way. So mainly because school trips and things are just really noisy, and then you get stuck behind them or in front of them or whatever the case. But you know, noisy, so. I'm noisy. So anyway, I think going on the off time was really nice and everything. But there are this area behind us. We thought it was closed because it's probably off time. It's a beverage place and everything, but I'm not sure. We'll have to check to see if it was ever open lately. But we remember it being that way when we first came in years ago, 30 years ago. So, but anyway, with that said, we had a good time, and we cannot tape the bats. The bats come here in droves during the summer months. This is April still, and so they said there's only maybe a few hundred or 1,000 bats right now. But and so when they do exit, it's just you can see bats flying out. But during the summer, when there's lots of thousands of bats, then it looks like a black tornado actually leaving the cavern. So we'll see what we see tonight, but you can't videotape. You can't even have your cell phone on no cameras, no nothing. So it's not something that we can include on our video today. So we're just gonna leave it at that. Say thanks for coming along, and we'll just plan on seeing you down the road at our next stop, which is going to be Big Bend National Park. So anyway, so take care.